Hello, friends, and welcome to the Masters. It's Masters Week. That was my best impression. That's what you're gonna get when you're stuck with me and no other of the Badge Bros. Yeah, let me first put that. First put that here. Not only is it getaway day for the MLB, it's getaway day for John and Nez as John said he has to go and he has prior commitments that apparently he has tickets to go watch this man, Shohei Ohtani. I don't know. I don't really know him too much. Go pitch. So he had to get that done. Nez, about 2 hours ago, right before the show that was originally supposed to kick off, tells me he has to go watch Grayson Rodriguez and let's see here. Is it Jacob deGrom, the best pitcher in baseball? No, yeah, it's Jacob deGrom. So he has to go do that, and I not stuck here, but I'm here with as you all know him as Best Ball. But Chris, how's it going today, my friend? The day before the Masters, but as we're sitting, it's going to be a little bit of an eerie type of Masters, as we'll get into that with how everything's going weather-wise. But first off, how you doing, my friend? How you doing weather-wise? Because I should say, Chris was the reason we had to bump this back about an hour and a half, because he lets me know in the morning. I'm sitting here. I don't even know if we're going to have a show, because I have 3 people that basically can't go because Chris has no power. No power. Doesn't know when he's going to get it back. He's in limbo. So yeah, first off, how are you doing?
The lights are on, so that's good. It was kind of wild. Hailstorm, just nonsense here with the weather. I think it was a good kind of prep for the shit show that we're going to see this weekend in terms of what to expect from the weather gods. But yeah, no, we got power back. We're back. We got the sheet up. We got some drafts queued up, and we're ready to go. Masters Week is one of the best weeks of the year, so I am excited, and we will. We're gonna get through it all today.
Yeah, and obviously I kid, as you can tell by my great hiding the sarcasm there. Whenever you get a chance, if I got a chance to see Shohei or deGrom, as Nez like to see it, he gets to see Grayson. That's how he's putting it. But yeah, no, those guys are gonna have an amazing day, and I just hope that they at least get a picture or something, make it worth my while. As I gave him the Squidward meme of me standing in his house as SpongeBob and Patrick run around and have fun. But no, what I will say off the top is we are going to do a lot of drafts. I'm going to try and do this different from John, where we get this going pre 30-minute mark. I will say my goal is to maybe get a longest drive fast on stream. So if we can get that going, if people are interested in that, let me know in chat. But I plan on doing a longest drive on stream if it definitely permits. I can put it up there and we can do some albatrosses as we go. But I think the number one thing, if I will just caveat, if you really want to get in depth in the whole albatross, all the nitty gritty, basically from square one to where we are now, we have done 3 videos now in the course of the last month. You can definitely go check those out. Put them at 1.5x speed. I know listening to me at that must be just horror, but definitely give that a chance if you want to just get caught up real quick. We've dug through all of the nitty gritty, everything you need to do, scoring. I mean, just the way of the landscape. Our last show just on Monday was an update for the whole entire landscape. Check that out. This isn't going to be a full-on nitty-gritty, just basic type of show. We're just going to jump into it. This is going to be now we have Masters update. We know how this first tournament is going to play. We have actual projections, weather. We have up-to-date information. The tournament literally starts tomorrow morning. So that's how close we are. So we're going to try and incorporate that into this. So just want to give that caveat. If people are looking for basics, check those out. Stay here, watch this, then go check those out. For sure. But I'm going to bring this in here and try and have a quick transition. Let's see how quick. Boom. Look at that. All right. We are going to start out with what everyone's going to talk about. And I also will caveat, as we'll give a little bit of our quick takes. We're not going to go full on into projections, how that's going to go. We're not going to go full on nitty gritty players and all this archetypes and all that. We'll leave that to the other shows that are out here doing the DFS shows, getting into that, those sites. This is going to be specifically specifically albatross and how that kind of pertains. So maybe a guy is not popping per se in a projection and we're talking about him here. there's 3 other majors that we have to incorporate. So that's why it's just a little bit of a different than the Pacific Masters preview show. But we got that out of the way. The weather is not cooperating, just like it wasn't for Chris this morning. It's looking like Saturday could be an entire washout. That's what I keep hearing. Obviously, I will caveat this: weather is it's gonna move. It's gonna change. But from shows that I've been watching, I know me and Chris shout out the Pat Mayo Experience. I've caught up with all of his shows. Just from Monday when we were looking at weather, and he said it today. The weather has moved up, like the forecast has moved up each time you check it. So I've checked it like every day. When it's supposed to hit keeps moving up. So it was supposed to hit like Friday night. Well, now it's supposed to hit like Friday afternoon. Come Friday, it could be 10 in the morning when it's actually hitting. So all of this, we have all of this just weather, which may not pertain to us specifically in this tournament. I know people are going to probably come in and ask for waves. They're going to ask for wave advantages. I'll say right off the bat, I don't think it's going to be that particularly big, especially in the Masters. I'll give Chris the floor here, but being a small field, less people to tee off in the groups. He already said it perfectly to me before show, but they're not going to be rushed and forced to get the guys out there in bad weather. And just looking at the weather, it just looks like it's up to a crapshoot of what you're actually going to get. But when you see this weather for the Masters, I know we're going to put a lens on as Chris can't draft and can't fast draft. He's going to vigorously live through me here as we do this. But if you're sitting in our shoes and now you have this information, what are you doing now when you're looking at yellow, orange, red, yellow, green, and then overall orange? How are you bringing this and drafting forward here in our remaining window?
So I agree that there isn't really much of a wave risk and a wave advantage where it's gonna like completely wipe out half of the things here, because the compressed times and just the way that the field is set up doesn't really allow for that. It's going to be a little bit easier for them to work around whenever the worst of it is, and hopefully not disadvantage too many people. Like last year's players is kind of the big example of people just getting fucked and then them shifting like a whole thing back. So that's kind of a tough one. But in terms, like in general, I think that what this does is it brings it a little bit closer to like kind of the wheelhouse of the guys that might play well at the Open in shitty weather. Like I think this brings some of your Euros into play. I think this brings some of your traditional like long hitter, tough course grinder types into play. So I think that we lean a little more that way. But it's only going to be, one day of one tournament that we know so far is going to be like this. So not like an overall massive change, but like worth your consideration as a tiebreaker, I think.
Love that. Love that. We got Nick coming in here saying, we appreciate that. Previous 2 vids were very helpful. So kind words. Appreciate that from a regular. Thank you, Nick. Chad also saying the same. And I've also been seeing him in these streets as he's been hitting up my DM. So filling that void as hoops is in silly season. So yeah, we got golf to draft, which you're gonna thank us later when you have us the sweats that are gonna be coming on. The cut sweat might be a little bit different this weekend with how this weather plays out. So it might not be the what we've been hyping up, as the traditional cut sweat. So that's interesting. Alan coming in here. Yeah. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's when you hear hello, friends, and that Masters music, I
Magic.
mean, it's truly, I mean, tingles. I mean, your hair standing up. It's like, it's a great time. But yeah, so, I mean, you guys can go in and dig into this more than we really are going to talk about it. When it pertains to this tournament, yes, we have this. We can go, and of course now, apparently when we talk Masters, my cats get up and they go absolutely crazy and they get pumped. So I said the word Masters, and now this guy's is awake and going nuts. But as this pertains to our Albatross tournament, and we have 3 others majors like I'm talking about, we're not like wading now this into it is going to be particularly hard. It's already most likely going to be in projections you use. And how I have said in the previous videos is I like to barbell, or I'm planning on barbelling. And I did so much early that now I'm going to try and filter in some that are maybe a little more biased off projections while also still knowing the rules of the tournament and trying to make sure I get 4 for 4. So that's also going to be incorporated in projections. And it just looks absolutely chaotic. Like another thing you can check out, one that we'll give here, is Wind Finder. You can use the Daniel Field Airport. That's what all of the DFS Pros sites are using. It's the closest thing to Augusta National. You can see here immediately, and I will zoom in, that this is what we're looking like for Thursday, and then we get into Friday, Saturday. Make sure I have this right, but it's just looking like it's going to be a washout, and this is probably updated a bit, and I can go to like the super forecaster, but you can check this out as well, and get really in depth, and then bring up. I'm gonna butcher it here as I go here, but you can go to Twitter, and one of the best place to get tee times, I will shout them out, is type in a little Underdog. Go to this Underdog Golf right here. They're giving out, fantastic updates. They have an awesome, it's called the Starter. Basically, it just gives you an entire overview of the tournament, past details, stats. You can check that out there. But they also they're tweeting this out too. They're tweeting the weather as we go. They're giving you tee times, so you can use this right here, whatever you want to use. And you can line it up with the weather. And you can then end up drafting and using like tiebreakers. That's how I would really incorporate it. So yeah, that's all I really want to touch on the weather, because I just wanted to get that out of the way. It's going to be a big talking point. What are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? Maybe we'll touch on that more as I twist Chris's leg, and we maybe do a couple dailies. Those are out, and he never gets to do those. So is there anything else before we maybe just hop right in? I know I wanted to try and get everything out of the way, and really just power through this and give me the floor as we do this. Anything else that we're missing here that you want to touch through on the sheet? Anyone checking this out for the first time, we have this linked in the bio of the video. Chris's sheet, if you were here for NFL season, similar to Chad's worksheets, he's just giving you the absolute goods here. This is the one-stop shop, basically. I like to say, if you don't know anything to do with golf, just click this link. You're good to go. Prioritize 4 of 4, 3 of 4 golfers. Watch those other videos. Boom, you're already up to speed and ready to hit this contest. But sorry, anything else that you see that you want to hit?
Let's do risers and fallers quick here in ADP, because I think that's kind of the important just thing to note right now. The way that I would kind of be looking at this is because there were so many drafts that get piled up in the last 2 days. A lot of ADP was set on like old stuff and things that have been spread out over the past month, 6 weeks ish. And now a lot of people are jumping in at things that are like relatively close to whatever these ADPs are. So some of these are big shifts. Like those are the 3 guys at the top there have shifted over 6 places in the past day, which is insane. And those 3 guys were people that we've been harping since the first time we talked about this, because the value was just there. And I think we're both, pretty deep into those, and then some of the other live ones, which is, I think we're getting some market correction, which is appropriate to me. On the faller side, the big 3 are the guys that aren't qualified anymore. And then Ryan Fox, which is actually kind of weird to me. I don't get that one fully, unless he's like gotten hurt or just something that people know that I don't know. But I kind of like him still late, as a guy that will play and will work for here in the open and has experience. So I'm fine with that. The first 3, I think those are reasonable drops just based on, what the situation is and qualification status and whatnot. So those are probably the 2 biggest groups of guys that are shifting right now, and just to be aware of as you head into these. But overall, kind of that's the general trend, is it's very master centric heavy now.
Gotcha. Yeah. And is there anything that you would give out there besides? I know you were you're kind of on you're intrigued or like the idea of barbelling, kind of using the information. You would be doing the same thing if you could. Is there anything besides what you just gave out here that you would kind of throw out there for the master specifically, or should we just jump right in?
The last thing I will say is actually to take us away from the Masters specifically. And I think this week a lot of people have, gotten, the more information we get, the more focused you can be on that specific topic. And I think people are drafting very heavily in that direction, but we can't lose sight of what the end goal is, which is the Open and winning that round. So when we're doing our, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4, whatever, really the most important two are first and last, and you need to be like focused on those, especially when it comes down to your later shots. Like a 2 out of 4 with, yeses in the 2 right spots, beginning and end, is way more valuable to me than like maybe a 3 or 3.5, where the last one is up for grabs, because that's going to be a huge differentiator. So I think we just can't lose sight of that being the most important round, the Masters being slightly behind, even as we get, more certainty about what's happening this week. So just keep that in mind and use it as, once again, another tiebreaker when you're trying to get some differentiation in here.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot here the last thing before I promise we get into drafts is I asked you specifically in a DM, is there any guys that when we start getting into these drafts that we're going to be cozy and we're going to try and be targeting like a 4-4 guy? Obviously, this isn't someone like Francesco 4-4. And then we start like he's like one of the last 4-4 that we get up here besides Phil. Doesn't really count. We're not interested in Phil. Adam Stevens, not Adam Stevenson, sorry. Right there. We get up Sep 3.5. Sorry. Scott 4. My point is, are there guys here that have a path that are easier than others? Let's say I'll go out here and say Mackenzie Hughes. I have no idea. Is there guys that you potentially know that have easier paths to get into these, to make these yeses versus others? Because what I would say is I don't think all maybes are maybe weighted the same. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like obviously there is a maybe, but you can do a little deep diving into that and get the criteria, official world golf rank, what tournaments they need to get in there, any other stipulations. I know one that I hit you with before was Taylor Moore, who he's going to be someone that has been in form, playing well. He's going to pop for the Masters, but he has strictly 2 no's here, and he's being drafted above some other 4-4 guys. And then his ADP has fallen a bit, but he was up there in the 25. So my last point, is there anyone that basically has a better chance with these maybes or no's that we really aren't giving credit for? Or if you haven't looked into it, that's fine, and you can kind of do that as we go.
Hughes is a good one because he is borderline. I think it's the maybe range that I've set is basically 20 points, 20 spots either way of the benchmark. So for example, at the Open, it's top 50 to get in for OWGR, which means if you fall anywhere between 31 and 70 right now, you're in that maybe bucket. So okay. Some guys would be, towards the front of that. Like I think there's like a projected yes for Sungjae or something, but he's going to make it for sure. So Hughes is a good one because he's right around that bubble range. The Open is interesting because you have kind of a farther runway to get out there essentially, and then get in. Harris English is one that intrigues me. And then Fox and Noren are 2 double yes guys, Masters Open, that I like. And then who else? We've talked about Moronk before as an option. A lot of Euros, essentially. Like one of the weird ones for the Open is last year's like DP World Tour kind of final rankings. So yeah, you get some guys in there that popped on the tour last year, like Bezadenhout. He's in to the Open and maybe the PGA, maybe the US Open. Like he falls in that range. So we shall see. But I would really take a close. Oh, Davis Riley. That's another one. That's one that I like. He's a no for this week. And then he's in, and then maybe like that could turn to, I think, 3 out of 4 pretty quick. Let's check what his numbers are. He's 61 in OWGR, which puts him like right on the cusp for the US Open and then just outside looking in for the Open. So you'd need him to do something well in the next month or two, but like it's possible. So he's got some skill. It's just basically qualification that's holding him back at the moment.
Gotcha. And that brings up, as we hopped in here, I'm going to say we did pretty good. I got in that draft before the 20-minute mark, so I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. A lot of stuff to get through. So let's see here. Chad's been saying the same thing. He's been curious If there are any specific guys that will do well in the first 1 or 2 tournaments that can turn into a yes. Obviously, if they do well in the first tournament, that's good for it's good for the team.
Yeah,
I
so
think
that
that's something that you've harped on from the get-go, from the first video, is guys that even at one point had maybes and no's in these previous tournaments and in the I think you were targeting more masters, but they've already turned into yeses and maybes, and the way that they're trending and playing, and they've already secured themselves. So that to this point, I think yeah, I agree with it, and there is guys that can definitely play well and get them into the tournaments. What are the stipulations? Basically, is it you need to win the Masters? Is that the only thing, and you're in the next 2 majors, or is there any other top 5 or anything for this? I haven't. I can go check the sheet, but off the top of your head, if you know, I guess we're up here. What do you think?
I
I'm
don't
going to
mind
go with
Xander.
Xander because
Yep,
I know I don't have that much. Now, I normally am drafting with, it has been a very, very big godsend is having that Spike Week overlay, especially for the combos in golf, because, I mean, you can just find yourself clicking the same guys over and over and over and over again.
huge.
I'm going to go with Colin,
Yep.
and I'm going to give you a little reason why I'm a little sad on my Colin ownership right now, but yes, to this point, like I 100% agree with it. Is there any guys specifically that I guess we just touched on them? Was Mackenzie Hughes and Riley basically the guys that you were talking about that can turn into those yeses, even though Riley's exempt because he's not playing in the Masters. So
Yes, and then Taylor Moore, I think, is actually the poster boy for this because he's getting a lot of talk this week, and he played well at the Valspar, which is a tough, tough, tough course. And I think that he's got some quality skills, and he is very put together a good finish here, like that can really springboard you up some of these other qualification things. Obviously, winning would get you into everything for a while, so that's very unlikely for some of these down the board guys, but more likely, it would be, a guy who finishes 6th out of nowhere and then pushes his OWGR up, or, makes a lot of money, gets himself into the PGA, that kind of thing. So
I don't have much Jason Day, and I'm going to take Jason Day. We're going to go all over the board today. We're going to go a little bit off of Chris's picks. We're going to get a little bit in there. This first one, I'm going to know who I kind of need and want to get on that. But yeah, those are good. I mean, great points, and exactly. And again, you can check out as I'll make this pick here, but you can check out specifically. Go to this sheet. You can go to this major qualifications tab. It's going to be hitting down here, but there is a major qualifications tab that you can click. And then you can see everything right here and how they can get into these tournaments, and basically who you can do the nitty gritty on who's closer and in and out. So Matt Fitzpatrick in the neck. Are we worried? Or are we going with Hatton, who also has an injury? Or are we going with one of these boys? What are we thinking?
I like Fitz.
I like Fitz as well. I'm a Fitz guy. So I have a good amount of Fitz, but I'm definitely good with working him in. Sheep joining the show, bringing up the question that I thought we were going to get a lot earlier. But no, we have not. We have not touched on this. I'll give you my thoughts, and I think Chris will. I'll give the floor to Chris for a lot more. But I am worried, especially with the forecast, because the quotes were. Let me make sure I had this right here. Basically, Tiger is pretty banged up. And then when asked specifically about the rain delay, I guess, of course, I'm not going to have the quotes right on hand. Yeah, so I'm going to butcher this. But he basically with playing and having these rain delays as we're up here, I'm going to go with Siwoo. We're going to go with Siwoo. Yeah, Sheep, bring the quote specific one here because I'm butchering it. But it was basically with the rain delay and Tiger's ankle, having to go out there and play 27 holes in one day. If that's something that they potentially have to do, that's something that he cannot do. He just physically cannot do it with that. They're like, if we give him a cart, that's something he can do. But yeah, Doob's in here saying that, yeah, he's worried about it. That said, that's also another thing is you can bring on the whole, does that downplay everyone else and give Tiger a little bit of an edge because it's Tiger and we know what he can just do on a golf course, even in rain. There's a lot of different things, but what do you think for Tiger and this ankle and potential weather?
Yeah. So the thing with him has always been, I think we're getting max 2 out of 4. I think we get the Masters and the Open. And even if he plays the US Open or the PGA, I just don't think he's competitive in those, truthfully. And he skipped the US last year, I think, because they're just such a grind. And at this point, like he doesn't need to be there to like try and grind out these hard ass rounds at these hard ass courses against 144 other guys. I think he's much more content to, take his shot at the Masters, take his shot at Riv, take his shot at the Open. So that already kind of limits the ceiling. He played well at the Riv. Like, he hit the ball so well. And I was fully expecting to come in and be like, all right, this is the most like overpriced guy the whole draft season. But he did flash the kind of the skill in that event, which was kind of shocking because he never plays well there. So there are some pros, there are some cons.
The pro also being, you want a guy that knows that even with the new renovations to Augusta, the guys that knows Augusta maybe better than anyone in the entire world. Maybe the people that maybe work there. Like, this dude I feel like he could play this a whole round. Take injury out. If he's done this, he could play a round with his eyes closed and know exactly where he needs to hit the ball. And this dude it's like, so there's also that factor that it's just like, if he's just somewhat of Tiger Woods on this course, like, that's another pro. So it's crazy, man. Like, it really is. That being said, he's been falling to the 9th and 10th round now again in these drafts. And I've been clicking some in a few in the 10th. We're going to go with Abraham Answer.
I concur. That was the right pick.
Not enough live on this team.
Yeah, agreed. Need some flavor. I agree. Late, he's fine. Wait, don't reach. Let him fall to you. And then if you piled up maybe a couple of the like boring low ceiling type guys that are 4-4s, like if you have a Sepp or a Scott Stallings or a Seamus or a Cage Lee, like those guys that are going to be around, and you have some floor built in, he's a fine ceiling play, but I wouldn't be going crazy on him. And he's definitely not a reach guy for me.
Are you Kirk here?
Probably. This is the absolute worst part of the board.
I'll just take the ADP value at this point.
Yeah,
that's why I kind of am playing these drafts. Yeah,
I don't mind it. Mito would have been fun later on. Mito is just flying right now. I think that as soon as the like projections and stuff came out and all these live guys were just popping, him, Reed, Answer, like the guys that are at the back end, like just through the roof ADPs. So
I have just letting you know, it's not the first. Oh, it is. Never mind. It is the first Wednesday of the month. Cool. I actually have wind here in a bad storm happening right now. And I just heard the sirens go off. I'm like, oh wait, no, it is the first Wednesday of the month, Roger. I'm like, it's the 5th. It's Wednesday. That, put the math. We can do that. But all of a sudden, I'm like, do I actually have to be worried right now? It's like dark and ominous out there, but that's hilarious. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna check the waters. I said this up the top. We are going to click this longest drive.
Excellent.
If anyone wants to make this a fun show, we need 5 more. I know it's not going to happen, but a guy can ask. So feel it out. I can put it on. I'm not even going to really put it on. It's not going to happen to do it on a stream. I was hoping for 4. I was hoping for like, you need 2 more, and I could like coax someone in there. We're going to sit in this, though. We are going to make people think about what they could be doing. See, there we go. Okay. There we go. Someone's going to want to have a little fun today. Someone wants to have a little bit of fun today.
Let's put up the bat signal.
It's John. It's John sitting there watching Ohtani warm up, and he's just like, I can throw away 250. I'm gonna go with Sepp. We're gonna go with Sepp just for the 3 of 5. And when we get down to here, it's getting ugly. The guys that I normally are clicking are thrusted up. So. Yeah, we need 4 more. So one brave soul was nice enough to jump in. Okay. No. And I do want to caveat. Don't do this if it's way past your bankroll limit. 250 on a golf, totally get it. we preach bankroll management here. So if this is out of your bankroll, do not do it. That's just fine. We're just here for the content and the lulls. But if we can get 4 more high rollers that want to participate, that's within your bankroll, please do and join. Either way, we'll still rip the $10, and that's just fine.
Absolutely. There were some comments before about the overlay, and I still think we're tracking for 85 to 90% full in my opinion.
Who are we clicking here? Sorry to cut you off. What are we doing?
We're going down, I think, a little bit. I think we got some floor, and we can take Svensson's fine with me. Willett could be fun in the shit weather. Peters is fine. I always love
I see so much Danny Willett love for DFS.
Yeah,
we're gonna put him in the queue there, and we're gonna take Danny Willett, and then we're gonna do every time I take a guy that I'm not 100% certain, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go Payne. But then I'm gonna tell myself, we just told the story. All of my guys are in it. All of my guys are 4 of 4 or 3 of 5, and the other 3 of 5 is a missing at the Open Championship. Otherwise, 9s across the board, baby. We're good. Now we get Danny Willett for a Masters. I mean, we get former Masters champion Danny Willett. No, let me make sure. Is that right? No,
that is correct.
That is correct. See, I said like Patrick Reed or something last time, and you were like, oh, or someone. I said someone like outrageous, and you were like, oh. Or maybe I said, I don't know. I said something. I think I said Brooks. I said Brooks. That was
Brooks.
What it was.
Brooks was it.
And you were like, oh, no. But former Masters champion, albeit. And then also we want to talk about going to the Open. Danny Willett. I mean, we see that purple Euro. My eyes light up. So yeah, we like that. Let's check out the squad. We can check out this draft. Probably gonna be easier to do the squad. Wait for this to go. Adam Stevenson is one that I've been kind of itching for. Let's check him out here. So that's a yes, maybe. Now, what would his stipulations be? He's sitting at 57 a world golf ranking. So what do you need to get into the US and the Open?
So he needs a 60 for the US and a 50 for the Open, I do believe.
Okay, so here's the key for Adam. He gets into the US, he has a good finish, and that just boosts him even higher because the points are worth more. It's easy money out here, folks. It really is. It's that's just the plays we got to do. We're gonna hop right. Go ahead.
The one other Open champ thing that I don't know if we've mentioned much on these before is that we've definitely mentioned. Oh, look at that snap fill! Wow, and the 2. Excellent. We've mentioned that the 2 Opens anyone can like try and enter and qualify for and then play in. The Open Championship you can also get in by placing like top 3, top 4, top 5 in a handful of events running up to it. So there'll be guys every year that try and basically qualify for that up until the last minute by playing some like lower tier PGA events and some Euro events and stuff, like the winner of the John Deere, and then I think like 2 other people get in as well. So some of these guys that are maybes, that are like the younger kind of newer tour guys on the PGA side, I expect them to be grinding to try and get in here. And it wouldn't shock me at all if one of these guys, ends up like coming T3 in Iowa and then gets to fly out the next week and play in the Open if he was on the outside looking in kind of deal. So there's some back doors to some of these maybes for the Open Championship especially. Roger,
good to know. We like that, and that's your uniqueness and your key to getting that leverage piece. That's really, I mean, that's the way I find it here. I am of the big 3. We are underweight John, and knowing how just everything goes, when I have 27% Scotty and 24% Rory and 12% John Rahm. John Rahm will be the guy that you need and will be the Scotty Scheffler of last year and absolutely run away with this tournament. That's just how it is. So we're going to get that ownership up. So when it's even, and then I'm just sitting there like, okay, one of you do your thing or all 3, please. Cam Smith going. Yeah. See, Cam Smith is just, he fluctuates from going anywhere. I've seen him go anywhere from honestly the 6th to sometimes the 3rd. And it's crazy.
I'm good with any of those,
I'm
like
gonna go
next
with
4
Tony.
or
I'm gonna
5
go with
guys.
Tony Finau,
Yeah.
specifically because if I have the overlay up, I know if I'm just looking at my exposures, it's gonna scream Will Zalatoris over and over and over. And it's not like I
Yeah.
don't want him, but I'm willing to push it and see if RT is willing to not milk the clock for once and then take the guy I want. Okay, so he takes Will. Thank you for just taking him 15 seconds earlier.
Much appreciated. Yeah, this tier here is when you get one of these first 3 picks, it feels so nice when you get back to this range and you either catch like a nice faller from the group above, or you get your pick of kind of these guys. And like, yeah, Rom Finau DJ is a sick start. I love that. That is actually the exact start that I have in my longest drive, except I had DJ and Finau flipped. I had some second round DJ, and then Finau fell back to me. So I was like, well, all right, we're doing it. So I like it.
Why does Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't do that for me either. I told them about it, but for some reason, and I know it's like, oh, you can, but you can't understand if you can't check. It sucks for dailies when you're trying to update it and you don't know if your exposure is updating. But yeah, well, I let them know that like, oh, I mean, I think it was when we were letting the whole macro situation. I'm like, oh, just by the way, and everyone's like, oh, it's not that important, and it kind of got brushed by the side, but. And the question probably of the day goes to Chip, coming in here asking, can he still take Guido in the 10th round? Is he available for Senior Chip?
Do you like fun? Do you like money? The answer is yes, of course. I see yes in the open column. I click Guido. Like, yeah, I'm fine with it still. He is probably on the absolute thinnest end of thin in this.
How far do I have to go down to find Guido?
Yikes, I don't even know. He might not have an ADP at the moment. Check the tiers page. He's actually listed on there because I drafted him a couple times. So I was like, all right, gotta put that in there for the people. There he is. He is a 61 ADP, which means he doesn't have an ADP at the moment. So yeah, not a clue how well he's playing, not a clue what he's up to this summer, but he played well a couple times last year.
Man. He's just chilling.
He's won, you know, he's trying to, he's got to, you know what? He's got to make a run at the Ryder Cup team. Gotta represent the home country. It's in Rome this year. So Guido's he's gonna put something together this summer, catch a hot streak and cap it off with an open championship win. Champion golfer of the world, Guido. Like, come on, print the shirts. Like that's excellent content. I think we should all be in favor of this.
Yeah, the fact that, oh man, RT, I was really hoping that you weren't going to click him there, but you know what? Tommy's a good consolation prize. I'll take 2 guys that can fight through the weather and the wind out there at Augusta. Then also can play at the hardest in the most money course or money round when it comes to the Open.
I love this. This is a great build. This is the what's it called? This is the like we're playing for chaos. Everything is shit and everything is hard for this and the Open. And then our guys are already like those 5 guys are tough course guys. Like I'm in. I love that. So this is a good look. This would be there's been talk about can't really correlate individual players because it's not like stacking in every other sport, but you can kind of get a feel for your team and figure out what type of tournament these guys can win. And all of these guys can win what I would call like a grind fest, like a weather shit, winds up, might be rainy, might be shitty, course is hard. Like these guys will be in the mix. Like we've seen them all in and around leaderboards in very tough situations. So that's kind of the narrative that we're telling ourselves here. So we should keep that in the back of our mind for our later picks when we might be like deciding between one of like a similar type guy or like there's certain guys that are just going to win birdie fests. Like they're going to go out and score. And as soon as it gets tough, they're done. So those are the probably guys we want to avoid going forward. And we can pick up a couple more like tough course guys and then really like lean into that angle here.
Rip my sweet prince and Tom Kim. Rip my sweet prince. But maybe he turns into that hard course guy right in front of our eyes. Brett asking, Sergio isn't in the tiers. Is he only qualified for the Masters?
Yes. Yeah. He's only in the Masters. Is he in the PGA? He might be in the PGA. He has a very I think he has a a narrow path to qualifying. Sergio is yes and yes. He's in the PGA, and then he's a no. What's his OWGR? His
There's
OWGR is
Sergio, yeah.
137. So that's not even. Oh, I mean, he can't make it up because of his status on live. Like, they're just not going to play enough events that get points for that kind of thing. So he is really relying on, either winning this week or the PGA, or like basically coming through and winning one of those like open qualifier type deals, which is not great. So I haven't drafted any Sergio, I don't think, but yeah,
we're just gonna get more live on this squad.
I like it.
Like the theme around DFS, the theme around these streets for months have always been live is undervalued, and it's because we don't these guys where they would be going if they were actually on the PGA Tour and going against these guys, like, and then we're like, oh, like this golfer is like a 1v1, a 1v5 in this range, they would be much higher than they would. Like, I think they're slowly starting to get to where they efficiently should be in ADP and still undervalued at that point. Like, they still have room to go. I've saw people talk about maybe they aren't as sharp. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they're not playing against a good competition. Maybe they see that, and they're also humans, and they also are just playing golf over there, and maybe it's a different style. And they come over here and they go, I'm gonna kick ass, and I'm just gonna play my best golf, and I'm gonna prove that, hey, I'm on live, and I just finished top 5. I won the Master. Like imagine Dustin Johnson going to live and then coming back, and like if one of these live guys wins the Masters, it's going to be like, well, clearly it doesn't matter if you're not playing against a good competition, because when you come back, you play against the best competition and you win it. So I think these guys honestly have a little bit of an edge to come back and just simply just be better than these guys and prove that just because we're on live, we can still compete with it. So that's my kind of angle when I think of these live guys and how undervalued they are. Chip asks here, and I'm on the clock, and I'll bring this up. In all seriousness, it does seem potentially advantageous to take a 10th rounder that is qualified for the Open and will be super low owned. This is the most Mito pick I have ever seen in my life.
Oh, this is just a live fest here.
This is a grindy type course and live. That's what this team is. Yeah, but yeah, go ahead. What do you think about this one here? I mean, obviously you talked about Guido, but
I agree. I think that how big is the final again? I think I have that written out here somewhere, but it's going to be 200. It's 260 people. That's like a relatively large final size.
One more for the longest drive. One more. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like if anyone does want to hop in here, this thing randomly just went from 4 to 1. So we need one more for this longest drive. Go ahead. My apologies.
Excellent. That would be incredibly fun. So the 260 final is like a reasonably large final size for some of these tournaments, and 260 people in golf is like anything could happen, and the amount of combos that you're going to get are probably going to be like, there's going to be a lot of oh, look at this. Wow.
Come on, top three. Let's go.
Let's go.
Incredible. That's so big. That's so big, baby. That's so big.
Huge. Wow, what a rush.
All right, this one needs to finish up. All right, who are we queuing up here? Ryan. Yeah, now we're totally off track here. Sorry, go ahead. Finish what you're going
for
here.
Good reason. I got $250 into Scotty Scheffler. I like the sound of that.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, you want uniqueness in that final, because anything can happen in one of these like weeks of golf. Golf is so variable. Like, I think it's probably one of, if not the most variable sport on like a week to week basis. Anything can happen in these 4 rounds. Like, best players could play shitty. Probably not all the best players are going to play shitty at the same time. So I wouldn't recommend like maybe full fading like one of the first 2-3 rounds. Like, you probably don't want to get too crazy then, but like from round 4 onward, if you want to just like skip 10 picks and then pick off like 3 guys in a row that are in the 30s, like go for it. Because I think that, yeah, in the final, there's going to be a lot of common builds that get through the first 3 rounds, and you're going to want some differentiators that can like launch you up the board. And so if you've built with proper structure and given yourself that kind of floor for the first 9 picks, like why not throw a dart on a guy that could be in the final round, and you could be like 1, 2, 3, 4 people maybe have him out of 260. Like that's a big edge to me. So I'm fine with it.
I like it. I like it a lot. Is there any risk with live guys only playing 3 rounds, or is that pretty much a non-issue? I would say that's a non-issue for me personally. Yeah, I don't think that's. I think they're still playing. Yeah, the non-issue for me. I'll just kind of sum it up as that. For you, do you agree with that?
Yeah, agreed. Non-issue for that, non-issue for most of the live related competition stuff. The one thing that these guys love above anything and everything else is US dollars. And so if the like they want to win each and every one of these tournaments to cash a fat ass check. Like that's why they went to live in the first place. So it wouldn't like, I don't think there's any question that like they're going to be motivated to win and cash a large check here. It's just a matter of, yeah, do they have the competitive reps? What are they keeping up with off the course? Like all that kind of stuff. And I think that for the guys that are like in their primes or even earlier, like the young guys, I have no issues with essentially believing that Neiman and Mito are grinding off the course to like basically keep up their form and play. Like those dudes probably got a truckload of cash and they have that, but they're like the live thing, who knows? Yeah, exactly. Chad knows that is the one and only thing for most of these guys. You don't think DJ's out there going to be like grinding over every putt this weekend to make sure that he can take home, 2.6 or 2.7 million, whatever it is. So yeah, my top, I think 6 or 7 guys are all live. They get my exposures. So I've just been peppering them throughout. We'll do a Bryson talk when we get to that range, because I don't know, he's my highest owned and I got problems. Colin would have been so fun.
That would have been so much fun. So here's the thing. I have a long drive team, and I know it doesn't matter. I already have one with Scotty and Will and DJ. So I can't start. I just feel like I don't want to start with those 3. Or if I do, then I have to be very diligent on my next 3. Or my next squad. I think I'm still going to take Will, just because this man is just, I mean, he's taken away the whole Masters. Like, oh, first Masters, but the dude has just been in there for every major. He just seems like, oh, there comes Zalatoris. Like there comes Zalatoris charging up.
Yeah, I think Vic, or I think I'd probably go Vic or Cam if you already have a Scotty, Will, DJ start.
I think I'm gonna go with Cam Young here.
Works for me.
Oh, I didn't want. So yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I said I think I'm gonna go with Cam Young, and I'm like, do I actually want him? I was between Cam and Vic, and I will say they're the same for me. So I got Vic. Yeah, those are the same guys for me when it came down to it. I just didn't click it fast enough, and I was like, let Jesus take the wheel on that selection.
That's okay. If it was my $250, I would have taken Vic. So I'm good with that. Truthfully.
Yeah, like it's just I'm same guy, not same guy obviously, but like the tier in which they are. Yeah, there you go. Getting DJ at 15, you're welcome. I would that's fun. That's a lovely start. And that's a really good thing to point out too, is these are 2 of 6. So that's a really good point versus your 1 of 6 pod and coming down. Yeah, I mean the amount of sweat and tilt that we're gonna see, the tweets out there, like I literally lost by 0.1, like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, because a guy on his last hole on the last day that's out of the tournament, basically out of, like, doesn't have a chance, but he made the cut, just simply didn't par it. He bogeyed it. And now because that guy bogeyed it, you move down a spot or something. It's going to be, it's truly going to be just amazing. The sweat's going to be unreal.
I'm so excited. Okay, let's see. We got some Hideki would have been fun too. Lowry.
We're going to go up pure. Okay, so I kind of have. I have a name. I have two names that all right.
I
So I
got
think I'm gonna do Tommy.
Yeah, I got three names, and none of them are Canadian. Yeah,
I think these are my three,
those are the three.
and I think we are going to do Tommy, and we are going to do a Brooks Kepka
I
because we do
like it.
not have Brooks. I do not believe we have Brooks. Oh, we do have him. Oh, we have him at 40 in the other longest drive. Okay.
Oh, that is hot.
That's a JT, Max Homa, Dustin Johnson, Sam Burns, Siwoo, Hoagie, Brooks, Woodland, Mito, and Sepp. Woo!
That is spicy. So the Brooks thing, whenever he's been good and in form and stuff, he's always been a streaky guy. Like he was one of the original in recent years guys who would like he'd be like fourth, second, win, like third, win, like fifth, second, win. Like he was a heater guy. So he's big on form, and he is, played well last week. He won last year again. Like I'd say like a lot of the battle for him is the mental thing, and getting a taste of winning. Like that's big for a guy like that. And I think that, being back in the fire and ready to go is going to be huge. I saw yesterday on Pete's stream, he had Peter Jennings on too, and he's a big fucking sharp of sharps, but he was talking about some of the talk he'd seen from people on just in the golf swing world, talking about how Brooks's swing is back to like the good times essentially. And he looks healthier, and like he just looks freer out there, and he's getting the ball out there. Like I am big on Brooks and all over the place, and I think that that's reasonable to take him where he goes now. Like that's probably still like you could push him up another tier, and I think that's still fine. Like his ceiling is through the roof, and that guy, you want to talk about competitive guy, like he is one of the ultimate competitors we've seen in recent years. So I have all the Brooks, just like Chip, just like I think a lot of us do, and I am fully on board. I have a lot of Brooks, and I have a Brooks 75-1 ticket to win this week that I made last week.
Keegan Bradley falling is interesting. I'm not really a Keegan guy, but I mean, he's sitting there with yes. And at 31.
Yeah, I don't mind it. ADP play.
I just feel like this is a guy I'm just going to take for the ADP play. And then we're just this guy has my eyes all the time, even though he's disgusting and he could just be a zero and a non-factor. But I mean, you want to talk about the talent here. It's well, maybe not, as we've seen his finishes and live. What would you do here?
I would probably take Bryson, but I'm a sicko. Kitayama and Horschel, you can't go wrong with any of those three. So it's up to you.
That's fine. I was basically trying to get myself to not take Bryson, but we're going to take Bryson and Brooks on the same squad.
So Bryson, saw him earlier in the par 3 contest, and I didn't realize how much weight he's lost. Like since last year, he's probably lost like 20-30 pounds. Like he's back looking more like not swollen Bryson, like closer to normal sized human Bryson, which is, I think, a good thing for him in general. And like just the quality of player he is, like his peak game is ahead of all of these guys by a significant amount. So I have no issues reaching on that upside. And the thing about Bryson is he is another one of these like tough course like guys. I think he is just going to be advantaged by playing in shitty conditions and in tough fields, tough courses, that kind of thing. So the middle two rounds of this, the U.S. Open PGA, he's 4 for 4 qualified. Those 2 rounds are going to be lower scoring, and I've said this before. And those are the 2 like rounds where I just want to be on the right side of variance. And I think Bryson is the kind of guy, along with Brooks, along with Rom, Will, like these kind of guys, even Keegan actually on this team. Hard ass course, like could just go get it still. And if scores are low across the board, like Bryson's the kind of guy that can put up a number on a shitty day. He's also in the scoring fest type events. He is one of the like bigger birdie triple guys. Like that looks like it's even par after 4, but in this scoring format, I think he's one of the biggest gainers because he doesn't give a fuck. He'll go for every pin and do whatever he is trying to do to be aggressive. And then like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the putter's hot. Sometimes he looks like he's never putted before. So I'm big on Bryson. I'm in. Like, let's do it. I'm willing to basically he's a 6th, 7th round pick usually now. So I don't care. I kept going, and I think I got to like 45% on him. He is my biggest single stand here. And just he's 4 out of 4 like all the guys around him, but I think the upside is just through the roof.
So I'm sweating a couple guys here that could maybe fall back to me. Oh, please. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You do not want to take him. You would not want him on your team. Please. Please don't take him. Do not do it. Please. You don't need to do it. Let's go. Welcome to the squad, Mr. Mito Pereira.
Yep.
All right. This is the most live team ever. Now, this is a funny question because I think someone asked about JT. My highest exposed guy in this entire tournament is JT Poston. Whether that's good or bad, probably on the bad side in terms of how he's been playing. But he's 4 for 4, and that's all I see. We are going to take JT Poston because when I see a 4 for 4 guy, we're gonna take it, and I'm not really gonna get when I'm playing with 2 of 6. I already have the firepower. You know what I mean? Like,
agreed.
So now I think this awards me with, if I want to go with my last pick, someone that's a little more crazy, maybe like on the crazy end, it allows me to do that rather than if I kind of went with I guess I still could have went with Stallings or someone else there. But I mean, to me, the 4 for 4 outweighed maybe his quality of golfer and who was available here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think that tier of guys in this range, it's Stallings, Poston, Fox-ish, but he's not quite 4 out of 4. Sheep took Gary Woodland last time, who's one of my guys in this range, who's a nice 4 out of 4 too, plays really well at hard courses, like always going to be live. He's a good one in this area to target. And then the like Sepp,
4 for 4. Yeah, 4 for 4. Tiger's going out there and playing all 4. Four.
I should put asterisks on the yeses for Tiger in the middle too, because I'd put it at like 50,
what's
50.
The asterisk? Like literally health permitting. Like, can he walk? Is he
tag old?
Yeah,
injured.
Old. Yeah, life-threatening car accident. Still recovering from. Will be recovering for the rest of his life.
Legit. So,
but I guess I'm going to put a little more thought into this. All right. So I haven't gone as crazy to do the last pick that we have named. Your guy, the selling point, the greatest nickname I think there could possibly be in golf. Potentially he's up there in the running. I'm just trying to get him here. Why? Yeah. So he's going to be a yes, no, maybe yes. I'm debating for the bit equity and with the way his team is set and the fact that he's already a yes. And like, maybe something special happens this weekend. Your boy does something. He gets that. Is there, and you know who I'm talking about, but is there anyone else here that you would take over him?
I was staring at Peters, and then Peters just went, so that's kind of
Yes.
annoying. Molinari is a 4 for 4 who's interesting. Moronk is a unique piece that's obviously interesting. Fuck, Fox is good too. I might just take Fox. Fox is, I think, a 3 out of 4 guy. Fox just might be better, but those two, even Taylor Moore, shit, they're actually some
Nope, we're
decent
doing it for
values.
the
So
bit. I
let's
want
do
him,
it.
and he's in there for projection. I don't care about you, Ryan Fox. We have to the squad the Polish giraffe. Welcome, Adrian Moronk. We're gonna run down this real quick, and then we're gonna end this here. I know it's a quicker one. It's just the way that's gonna have to be. It's just the way of the road. But we had our fellow friend and brigade in here, in just a guy, Alan, and then Sheep. Pardon me if I'm missing Mikey C, Pepper Prince, and Unicola. But we'll run through Sheep's team as he wanted. He wanted us to check that out. Yeah, how'd I do? So Sheep started out here with the worst pick in the draft, Justin Thomas. Just absolutely garbage golfer. Even worse in Max Homa. Followed up with one of the worst picks I've ever seen. And no, I'm just kidding. Sorry. No. So he went with JT, Max Homa, Sunjay Im. I mean, you won it in my eyes. My sweet Prince and Tom Kim, my favorite golfer on tour. Joaquin Neiman, Adam Scott, Abraham Answer, Gary Woodland, Alex Noren. This last one, I will say, I'll get nitpicky with and say you burned, you lit a little bit of a slot on fire. I think Chris might agree, but this dude is absolute toast. And yeah, I think he's listed 4 for 4 on your sheet. That's another asterisk guy. The asterisk being he's absolutely garbage at golf. He's not good anymore. All of this. He's literally went to live because he went bankrupt and needed money, and was not going to win on the PGA Tour. If you really wanted me to get roasty and salty with it, otherwise, all the rest of these guys, including Noren, who I have a sweet spot for just for DFS wise. I'm taking all of these guys quite a bit. Maybe Scott is my lowest. Otherwise, very, very big on Joaquin Neiman. Very big on Gary Woodland, 4 for 4 guy. Just he's been playing good in some good form. You can't nitpick any of these guys. Like, you really can't. It's JT, Homa, Sunjay. Like, yeah. Thoughts on this team, also including the Mickelson pick.
Yeah, the Mickelson pick's a little bit out there. Unique maybe. But yeah, he's gonna be 404 asterisk.
Wouldn't it be a Sunday? Wouldn't it be a Masters weekend if Lefty's in it, and all of a sudden we're like, you just see Phil Mickelson on that leaderboard, and you're just like, what year am I in right now?
Yeah, that would be funny. People that, I mean, the ratings, they would eat that shit up. The what's it called? The rest I really like. There's a lot of quality in here. The like Sungjae, Neiman. I'm not a huge Tom Kim guy, but like that middle stretch is so good. Sungjae, Neiman, Scott, Answer, Woodland, Noren. Those are like five or six of my favorite guys in each of the ranges. I got a lot of Neiman, I got a lot of Scott, I got a lot of Answer. So I'm totally good with that. I like the way this turned out. And JT Homa, Sungjae, Tom Kim is actually a really nicely paired group where I think they would excel in similar areas. Like, this is probably more of a birdie fest type team where you're thinking maybe the Masters and the Open play a little easier. Like, that could be the route that we're going here. But I do like the flavor here on Sheep's team.
You're gonna have to let Chip know the difference between the greatest of all time and Lefty. Is there a difference at this point? I do believe there still is a difference with the way Tiger was striping it at Riv.
Yeah. We're not going to discuss this any further.
Cool.
Tiger,
Yeah,
Tiger.
You'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chip's just there for the trolls, but yeah. Otherwise, all in all, Sheep. I mean, good team. To be honest with you, I still think, Phil's 4 of 4. If he's allowed to show up, Phil's going to show up and he's going to be participating in these tournaments. Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle, and hey, I don't think it's going to be the British. Like, that's probably not where Phil, but one of these other grindy tournaments, maybe Phil brings back Father Time. So otherwise, yeah, I love that squad here. I'll just end this here with, we're going to end this stream. I really appreciate everyone coming here. It's been amazing. I appreciate the support on the other 3 videos. this is definitely not going to be the end of it, as we have the Pup Cup, or whatever they want to call it. FedEx Cup playoffs will be dropping, and Chris will have a sheet more in depth, and we'll be getting into the nitty gritty on that as well. We were thinking of, I know it's Easter weekend, so it's probably not gonna happen for this one, but we're gonna have hopefully a cut sweat for one of these major tournaments or something like that. But we'll end this here with my squad. Again, if anyone wants to check out more content, you still having that itch, we have other stuff. Join the Discord, which is below. Just click that link, join the Deposit Kingdom Discord. We have threads on there. I wonder if I could get that up and show you. Everyone knows that probably, but I will say this also before we end this. I'm not even looking at the likes, but I know we should have at least 31 likes with having 31 people here. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to our other channels, which are the Underdog Fantasy HQ, which you're going to get all the baseball content you can hope for every Tuesday and Thursday throughout this summer going into the fall as well. Unhinged channel, which you're getting all of this nonstop content, including which our 3 PGA streams have been on. And then hit that notification bell. John may not know what it does. It allows you to know that we go live. So then you don't have to know anything else except check your phone and see that we go live. So I know it's tough for him to figure that out, but hey, he's not here. I got to give him a little bit of shit, but got all that housekeeping out of the way, and we'll end it with the final squad. We're at 7. We're at 3 longest drives. My OCD may make me do one more, depending on overlaying all this. We are sitting at a Scotty Scheffler, Will Zalatoris, Victor Hovland, Tommy Fleetwood, Brooks Koepka, Keegan Bradley, Bryson DeChambeau, Mito Pereira, JT Poston, and Adrian, I am the Polish giraffe, Maronk. I love that squad. That's really fun. That's really fun. Chris, it has been a blast just talking this with you, DMing with you nonstop, getting the info. Your sheet has been like you get from people nonstop. It's been just a godsend. I waited to draft until I got this sheet because of how invaluable I knew the resource would be. So for anyone that is willing, I know you probably don't have it in there, but we got to get a Venmo for this man. Got to give him his props. Everyone give him his tips. Do whatever you can. Get him a little more albatross entries. But
it was up on the screen yesterday during Pete's stream, and Jennings was talking about it. Jennings said really good when it was on there. Don't know if he was actually talking about the sheet or not, but that's the testimonial. So we're gonna get that on the front cover. So that's it.
Yeah, we'll take that. Well, you'll take that, right? If Jennings is up there giving you the cred, Is there anything else you want to say before we?
Yeah, I got a question for you. I need a Masters winner and I need a winning score.
Oh, goodness. You need a Masters winner. You're going to put me on the spot.
Yep.
I have to be able to look at all these names for a second here quick and just kind of think.
I will lead if you need a moment here.
With the weather. Yeah, you go first. And with this weather, I'm thinking into mine. I think I have one, but you go.
Mine is going to be first time major winner Patrick Cantlay at -8. I think that's where we're.
Does that have anything to do with because you were taking Patrick Cantlay at the 4 over and over again? Does that have anything?
Maybe. To do with it? I might be a tiny bit biased, but that's where my head's at. I love
that a lot. I really do. I have a guy that I think is going to excel in this weather. And that I also just think is a really good golfer and can just grind it out. And that's if this tournament would have come to. And I'm gonna go with Shane Lowry.
I like it.
I know that's kind of out there. That's more of a not going with one of the big 4. If I had to pick a big guy, you know what? I'm gonna go with Cam Smith. Cam Smith comes out here and sticks it to them and just says I'm Cam Smith. But let's go with Shane Lowry. Let's have some fun, huh? I can't bet, so someone do it for me. Go put a little something like $10 on Shane Lowry. I'll Venmo you. But yeah. Hey, it's been a blast. Like I said, we'll maybe get Chris if people want this. They enjoy this content. We can maybe corral Chris when he has some time on Friday nights. He's getting out a busy season. When we get into the dog days of summer, it's going to be baseball and it's going to be golf dailies. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Nothing better than maybe cracking a few, pegging them to get online. We draft a few golf dailies, tell our strats and how that goes. But
definitely.
Yeah. It's been amazing. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everyone being here. Yeah, I won't ramble anymore. Everyone have a wonderful day. Getaway day. Go Mariners. Go O's, I guess, if you're Nez. And yeah, for everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.